Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. It only happens once a year. In fact, it's only happened once before, presented to a single person who has demonstrated exceptional efforts to leverage diversity within their organization. It's this Thursday, April 19th, and it marks the awarding of the second annual Tag Diversity Leadership Award. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, April 17th, 2012, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. From keynote speaker, dynamic senior vice president, talent acquisition and diversity for SunTrust, to the 5 extraordinary finalists selected from a field of nominees that were extremely strong and highly competitive, this year's 2012 Tag Diversity Leadership Award event promises to be one you will not want to miss. For a special Tech Talk insight into the special award and event, its meaning, and its impact, we speak with Alyssa Lane Fowler, Program Manager, Strategic Initiatives at McKesson, the prestigious award's first winner. Starting as a sales representative for Provider Technologies in 2000, Alyssa soon began a stellar career rise at McKesson. Next as a clinical marketing manager, then business process reengineering program manager, next to integrated testing environment program manager, then to her current position at McKesson Incorporated as program manager, strategic initiatives, and board chair, Women's Employees Resource Group. The Tech Talk makes diversity leadership its focus as we explore how professionals manage creative, intellectual, cultural, ethnic, generational, gender, and lifestyle diversity to achieve positive outcomes, with one person, in fact the first ever, to be awarded diversity leadership recognition by the technology community, McKesson's top executive and the 2011 Diversity Leadership Award winner, Alyssa Lane Fowler. Alyssa, welcome to Tech Talk.
Hi, Frank. Thanks for inviting me today.
Well, we've got some really exciting and interesting things to talk about. I know you've got a really important event that's coming up real soon, but for our listeners, maybe go into a little bit about, I'll call it your day job, and that's what you do at McKesson.
Certainly. So I'm a Strategic Initiative Program Manager for the technology side of McKesson's healthcare businesses, and I have the great honor of working on IT strategy for the CIO of 3 of our businesses here. We develop shared services, infrastructure application support. So I may be in any given year handling virtualization or mobility, customer relationship management, or supporting regulatory testing from a technology perspective.
So you don't sleep? Is that what you're telling us at all? I mean, obviously, in order to keep up with all of that, I can't imagine how, when I combine what I think I know and understand of McKesson's business, and then think in terms of having to be someone with a visionary perspective to talk about their strategy and ultimate leading in the implementation of some of the technologies, both internally and I'm guessing from a consumer product standpoint or from a product standpoint, multiply that with the dynamics of technology in general, and I would guess you stay fairly busy.
Absolutely, I do, but we have a fantastic staff here and a great team, so it doesn't ever happen with just one person.
Well, and certainly I understand that, but even keeping up with all the dynamics has got to be pretty rigorous. And when we talk about dynamic fluidity, I often talk about it not only as the technology exponential, it's phantasmagoric, and certainly with healthcare, the dynamics are just truly, from the outsider looking in, overwhelming. One of the things that we certainly want to touch upon is obviously the subject of diversity. I guess it would be almost an understatement to say that you're passionate about it, but tell some of our members today about diversity and the inclusion in today's technology community.
Absolutely. So one of the most exciting things that I get to do at McKesson, and it is part of my day job here, it's a corporate-supported diversity and inclusion role for me at McKesson, and I lead the Women's Employee Resource Group, Own It, Georgia. So we're an all-inclusive group, meaning that men can join as well, and we have been around for about 2 years now. We started off with a goal of getting 250 members, and we beat it. We have 464 now. And in Atlanta, McKesson has 7 offices, so we're covering hospital and physician software, pharmacy transactions, pharmaceutical distribution. So there's a myriad of different businesses, which proves out to be a multitude of cultures that we want to be able to bring together. So we have supporting programming to support the careers and employee engagement and business knowledge and acumen of our members, and we have employee resource groups to really be a cultural game changer for us. They have been born organically from the employees up and supported from the corporation down through the Diversity and Inclusion Office and our Chairman's Diversity Council.
Wow. Well, I know that in a certain aspect of the technology industry, a lot of people now are talking about, even for that matter, the medical community, individual talents being branded as individuals. The idea that it isn't so much about jobs as much as it's going to be about work, and that the opportunity for subject matter experts to deal almost independent from an organization certainly is somewhat of a little bit of an abstract as it exists today. But I think with technology and with the telecommuting and mobile devices and those kind of things, that certainly is a possibility. It's certainly evolving in some aspects, the entertainment industry, for example. But when you talk about diversity on the inside of an organization and you talk about the size of a company, of a McKesson, maybe explain a little bit about the importance of cultivating a culture, say, of diversity. Is it about the priority being about the aspects of empowering the individual? Is it about interfacing and collaboration and cross levels of communication among diverse groups? Maybe go into a little bit about the dynamics of diversity within a culture the size of yours.
Absolutely. It's all of those things, Frank. And I think that by now people should know the statistics that diversity drives better market performance for businesses, that diversity in the boardroom drives better decision making. And there are so many different components of that. They find that no matter what, there are going to be challenges. And when you look at them through a diversity and inclusion lens, you're looking at things more holistically. So more importantly than looking like your customer or sounding like your customer is thinking like your customer and your customer's customer if you're in the B2B space. So every business, whether you're offering a hard good or a service, you need to determine what diversity and inclusion means for your business. So when I talk about inclusion, I'm talking about inclusivity, really listening to every member and what you touched on of your team and their input and your customer. And when you decide what diversity and inclusion means to your business, you can really move the needle and measure what those metrics are for you. The real question is truly, how do you drive impact through your business? Do you mirror your customer population culturally and attitudinally? Do you seek to have better user groups or user interfaces? Are you thinking like the college students of tomorrow? Sometimes facing difficult challenges like simply combating bigotry might be an issue in one portion of your business and not in another. You might be changing the hiring practices of your business to meet the talent pool of tomorrow. So when our baby boomers retire, those are the healthcare professionals of today. How are we backfilling those? How are we maintaining that thought leadership? And how are we going to look like what the pool available to us from the workforce perspective is? So with the inception of our ERG, we seek to empower our workforce and in return empower McKesson. Truly, we need to be growers of profitability.
Well, you're describing quite a level of enlightenment. Is it generational? Is it evolved now to the degree that all generations are thinking in the kind of ways that you're talking about, or do you see the younger generation bringing more dynamics to the table? Talk a little bit about this level of enlightenment, because, again, when you talk about diversity on the level and the scale that you're talking about, even the person who thinks they're diverse in one particular situation gets put into another culture. Can they really appreciate and understand that particular perspective with the same diversity that they had from the culture that they had come from? Talk a little bit about enlightenment as it relates to today's generation versus past generations.
I think that today's generation does not see color the way generations of the past have. And I don't think that this generation necessarily sees some of the challenges. That's due in part to a lot of very intense and hard work and fortitude by those that have gone on before.
Sure.
So there are things that are apparent and things that are not. And when you open yourself up to even knowing what your awareness level is, and you open it up to being able to talk about those things in the workplace, and you educate your employees on what that looks like, you will always open up doors and increase opportunity for your company.
You're the winner of the 2011 TAG Diversity Leadership Award. Tell our audience a little bit about how that has impacted you personally, certainly over the last year.
Well, I think first and foremost, I'm thrilled just to even know that TAG supports diversity and that this award was created. So being the first to receive this award, it was just such an honor, and it's given me the opportunity to meet others that are passionate about diversity. It's given me an opportunity to see the other things that are happening in our community and in the technology space, to be proud of Atlanta and the Southeast, and to really get involved and to give back and serve my community. So no one group or company or team has ever overcome a singular hurdle, and there are definitely benefits for us working together and sharing best practices.
The TAG Diversity Awards, maybe tell our audience a little bit about that. It's certainly coming up really soon. Give us some details about that, and maybe talk a little bit about what they can expect if they choose to attend.
Absolutely. So I'll be there on Thursday. It's April 19th at Villa Cristina. I'll be introducing Michael Johnson, who's the Director of Diversity and Inclusion for McKesson. He's a finalist this year, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of the other nominees. The guest speaker or keynote for the evening is Rita Izagari, and if you have never met her or heard her speak before, she's an absolute dynamo. If you want to measure results and business impact, she's a true tenured professional on leveraging diversity to get results.
Now, obviously, you've described somewhat of a process that's evolved to the position of where things are today. Tell us a little bit about the things that you're looking forward to as far as 2012 is concerned.
Absolutely. So I'm very, very passionate about diversity. I'm passionate about diversity at McKesson because I'm a consumer of health care, and I'm a female consumer. So as a woman, I manage my health care. I manage my husband's, my children's. I manage the health care spend of every dollar in my family. One day I'll be managing my parents' health care, hopefully not in the very close future. And I'm really watching how health care is changing. And you see it, and I'm sure every one of the listeners today has seen these changes, whether it's MRIs and 18-wheelers that pull up into the parking lot, or if it's your personal physician, as mine did, went boutique last year. And, I track my vitals online from a scale, a pulse oximeter, and blood pressure cuff from my office. So trust me, I know how much I ate over spring break. But I really
Even if you don't really want to know.
That's right. Well, I have it set to French so that if the door is open, no one can really know what the number is, and I get to see it on the dial. So, but we're all in charge of healthcare reform in our nation, and we're all in the healthcare technology space making healthcare safer and more affordable every day. And even those that aren't in the healthcare technology space are in charge of healthcare in our nation, whether it's populations with skyrocketing diabetes issues or what we're doing in Washington. So we all have a component to play in that. So I'm also excited about rolling out peer groups at McKesson, and I'm inspired about TAG and the things that are happening there. So if Tino were on the call today, I would definitely be talking to him about someone that I know that speaks American Sign Language, getting that person to be at the 2013 Summit event next year.
Excellent.
But I'm just really excited about our tomorrow and our newest new customers. So
well, your spirit is contagious, and your enlightenment quite obvious. And congratulations on the recognition for the TAG Diversity Leadership Award. I think any of our listeners could understand why you were given the recognition. And we'll all look forward to the TAG event coming up. It's the TAG Diversity Awards. Again, it's Thursday the 19th. I'm sure that you can still go online on tagonline.org and register. Alyssa, it has been a pure pleasure and a true opportunity to have a few minutes of your time to share with us here on Tech Talk.
Thank you very much, Frank.